really know what to believe anymore, so I'm gonna slowly develop some trust issues here.
RocketGills!
Hey, Nolan here, aka RocketGills on Instagram. I'm gonna be doing a sketchbook flip through today, which this one's not fully completed, but it was over the course of a few months, so I feel like it's nice to share what I've been up to. So, started this one back in June this year. Then I switched over to a bigger sketchbook because this one's pretty small. So, and I was home, so I thought it was better to work big. More arm exercise, it's better for you and all that. But now I've been drawing it again because it's got really good paper in this one.
Now, a drawing flip book, is that almost like a diary in a way?
I mean, sure. It can be half and half. Some people like to put down personal thoughts and stuff in here. If I'm writing anything in here, I like to write down random quotes and stuff from things I'm reading online or from posts I see that I find interesting that I want to remember. And then I'll also like screenshot so I know where it came from if I'm curious about it later when I go back in my sketchbook. But a lot of people do use their sketchbooks as diaries, but then it gets too personal, and I like to at least have the option to be able to show people a sketchbook and not feel scared to share it because, oh no, I was being weird in my sketchbook for a few weeks. Well, I'm sure I was weird in this one, but, what's it gonna do? But I usually sketch out ideas and stuff in here. Like, I was scrolling through Twitter. Somebody posted some really interesting forest images, which was basically in their backyard. So, time to draw a deer skull, which fits with the season. A birthday drawing for my friend on Twitter, Lulu, who she really loves Miku. Like, tries to get me to go to all the concerts. And don't get me wrong, I love my girl Miku, but that concert.
Will you be selling any of these original sketches at any future cons?
Probably. I think the next thing I'm gonna go to is Mocha, and I'll probably pull out a selection and wrap it up in a zine. Mocha's in New York during the spring. It's more of an artist get-together type thing, so people bring all their original work and stuff there, and it's a good way to meet new people too, even if you're not, buying. So it's one of those events that's nice to go to. Makes you feel a part of the artist community in New York. A lot of this is me figuring out posing and ideas and just practicing. So this one, I think I was testing out some new watercolors I got, which is, it's gold, but it turns very yellow. So I think it depends on the paper I use it on too.
That's an awesome poster.
Thank you.
I think so. That's cool.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff is just unfinished ideas.
But if you could just go back to it really quick. You see was that blue or silver that?
It's right here.
Yeah, just like how that.
Yeah, I use some white in it. I like to use white on my black drawings, but the weird thing is with black ink and white ink, depending on what brand pen you're using, it might not show the same. So it adds some interesting effects to it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thank you. This was for online sketch requests. I don't quite remember what the request was. This is just me practicing floral shapes. I like to put florals behind stuff. And when I'm working digitally, I find it harder to figure out like the exact shape to work with. So that was some of that. This is when I was watching Review Starlight, which I'm still going to fully recommend people watch. Fake magical girl anime of the season. Actually, this is that same gold watercolor, but it looked different here because
it does.
I think I used less water. Yeah, so that's the full effect of that. I like how it looks usually now. Some shape practice.
That's cool. That's a cool character. Is that original?
Yeah. The bad thing that I do is a lot of my illustrations and stuff that I plan out, I'll use the character just for that one, and then I'll never draw them again.
Oh.
Yeah. So I just keep designing more and more characters, and then they appear in one piece, and then they're gone.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I think this one I was actually planning something for her, and I just couldn't figure out the posing I was doing, so I'll probably pop back to this at a later date, maybe further in the sketchbook. These are some loose doodles. I think that was when I got this pen. So I was just trying to figure out how to work it into my pieces, because I usually don't use felt tip pens, but this one was really smooth to work with.
Do you recommend that type of pen? A felt tip?
Yeah, I do. It's good to mix your pen types, I think. This one was when the Overwatch summer event was going on. I really liked Diva's Wave Racer skin. It was a cool take on the surfboarder trope. And this was also me trying to see if I wanted to do a poster for Diva, but I've done so many Diva prints that I thought it was time to take a step back from that. I think I have it at least 6 or 7 up now, so I think maybe I'll wait a little bit before I go back into that. Twitter request for some Voltron fan art. And then, sorry, I keep turning this. I obviously don't know how to draw in one direction. I think this was just a random character. Oh no, this is when I was watching, oh gosh, it slips my mind, that really popular anime movie that came out last year. Oh, My Name. There we go. That was when I was watching My Name. And I found the scene where they'd first switch bodies and she had to go to school in his body really cute. Also, it's been out for a while, so I don't feel bad that I just spoiled something there. Just gonna skim that fact. And then over here, I think I was listening to Millie, some of her songs, and I don't know, her songs are just so weird that anytime I'm listening to her and I draw something weird, so I decided to draw a girl with mushrooms growing out of her shoulders.
Ooh, that
Kirby.
looks good. What is that?
Which one? These?
Yeah.
I was reading an article on mental health, and
Actually, can you lift that up? Even more. There you go.
There you go.
Wow.
I was reading some articles on mental health and like self-efficiency among people with mental health issues, because I like to read random psychological topics, but it's just interesting, like the different levels of ability to do things that people have. Like for me, I'm conditioned now to not do anything before 10 o'clock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because for about 3 years, my work day wouldn't start until 1. So I had to make sure I was getting enough sleep before I went in. So I had to train myself not to wake up early, which in turn made it so that it got really, really hard after I stopped on that schedule to do anything early in the mornings.
Interesting.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different stuff people go through with, self-efficiency. But yeah, that is a topic of interest. This one, I found some vellum in my house and I just want to play around with it. So
You found what?
vellum. So it's this sheet here.
Oh.
Turns like so. So I just did a little bit of effect on top. And you can do this. You can flip it. Not really a point to it, but it's there and there's a use for the material. I didn't really have a point to it. And also that's why I learned that I couldn't use water-based markers on this book, because they go straight through. But that's a nice effect too. Got a silhouette going on here. I was on the train playing around with my brush pen here.
Now, does she have white eyes or she's looking to the right?
I just drew some really big eyes, like 90s Cartoon Network style, wearing glasses eyes.
Oh!
Yeah.
Now I see it.
Yeah.
Those are the glasses.
Yeah. Really I think I did the sketch in like a few seconds.
That's really cool.
Thanks. Yep, some Hanzo, more Overwatch stuff. It's what happens when you play with your friends every night. You end up thinking about it during the day. It's really bad. And then I think I was working on planning out a print here, like a multi-character print, but couldn't really like figure out what I was going to do with it, so I left it at a pencil sketch and moved on with my day. But usually I don't draw in pencil. I'm surprised I did this in pencil. This one's pretty... I get pretty messy with pencil. Mm-hmm. And then I also don't use an eraser, so those two things together kind of make things unreadable when I do pencil. Oh, and I kept going with the pencil here too. I actually don't remember a lot of this. This one I think I was planning out business cards. I wanted to do like bee nature themed stuff on my next pieces, so...
Yeah, how do you keep track when you do create original characters? Like,
I don't.
You just keep going.
I just keep going. It gets a little bit weird to keep track. Like sometimes it'll be like this. I'll flip back through my book and I'll be like, "Oh right, I did that. I designed that character. I kind of like that. I'm going to reuse it." And then that's how I'll end up reusing a character.
I like that. Is that honey?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really good. I feel the weight of the honey in that. That's really good.
I keep going back to try the same metallic gold watercolor, and I guess I finally figured out how to work it. Yeah. I never did make this business card either, because I was working at New York Comic Con. I was just like, I'm not going to make business cards for that, because that's the type of con where people will grab them. Business cards are a weird thing for artists, because when you're giving them out at cons, sometimes people will just grab them and you'll find them on the floor a couple steps later.
Right.
Which honestly I get. Sometimes people take it just to, remember who they saw, or like if they couldn't buy something, they take it. So it's like, oh, I did get something from this artist.
Right.
But I've started just doing a thing where I'll make a single like card, and I'll put that on my table for people to take pictures of, because then it's in their phone.
Right.
They can't lose it. They can delete it. Also, They can feel free to delete it, but then they'll have it, you know? This one was a sketch while I was finishing up watching Review Starlight. And this is pretty messy, but this was me testing out the Pentel pocket brush pen that I picked up, which it's really good pen. A really good way to have thick ink on the go. And actually, this probably is a character I would reuse. Even though I'd have to like work out the details since I did it really with a really thick ink, but that's one I'd reuse. This is some crafting, sketching. I'm in the middle of making stamps by hand. So this one is a stamp now, which next time I can bring some of that stuff. And I think at this point I was watching through all of Adventure Time, so I wasn't really focused on sketching. Yep, you can see it here. I left a whole page blank. I was definitely watching something. And then I was going to do some Review Starlight posters. And then I was doing some life sketching. So I think this one is from somewhere in Italy that I was sketching from.
You were in Italy?
No, I was sketching from photos of Italy. Yeah. Yep, I was definitely finishing up Adventure Time. I could see all the Marceline incoming.
So it's interesting when you look at each of these photos. I would say they're photos, right?
Yeah.
Drawings or
yeah.
mental photos that you have. It seems like you really go through what you were going through at the time or what you were thinking of the time.
Yeah, because for me, that's why I was like half and half when you asked me if it was a journal or not. Because like as I go through it, I'm like, oh right, I just had my sketchbook with me when I was doing that. Because for me, there's a big difference between me drawing in my sketchbook and me sitting down and planning an illustration. Like if I see like thumbnails and stuff in my sketchbook, I know what I was I was working on an illustration. But like if I just flip really, really quickly through this, half of the stuff I wouldn't remember. But since I'm flipping from back to front, front to back, I kind of remember like what was going on. Because most of the times when I'm using my sketchbook, I'm watching TV or watching a live streamer or something like that. So it's weirdly easy to think back to it. And these are kind of inconsequential stuff at the end of this. This was at New York Comic Con. I was on my phone playing Citus 2, and then it's got a surprisingly good story in the game, and I just got a bunch of supplies, so I drew one of the characters from that. And then this is one of my Inktober sketches too.
Oh, can you lift that further up?
Yeah, I can. Oof.
Yeah. That is really cool.
This one is a character I've actually used a while ago, and then I decided to reuse here. She's a shapeshifter, so I was like, oh, let me draw her in a circle with some foxes and nature and stuff. I remember this one because I was actually sitting in a cafe drinking, of all things, water. And yeah, I had two probably nice older ladies sitting next to me, just like staring over. So by the time I got towards the end of the sketch, I just kind of like shut my whole sketchbook and was like, okay, you got enough of that for me. And then this one, I was planning out an illustration here. Didn't really go anywhere with that. I was gonna go with the character from the previous page, but I wasn't sure what posing I wanted her in, so I might have to go back to that again. And then this is the last one I have right now in the sketchbook. This was also an illustration I was planning. Yeah, this one's gonna just be themed on ravens, for the fall season. So that's all I got in the sketchbook now.
That's it?
Yeah. I'll bring some more. I've been using the sketchbook a lot.
How did Inktober begin? Do you know anything about that?
The creator wanted to get back into drawing every day, as far as I recall. And he just posted the prompts and then it blew up.
Nice.
I think that's the full story, to be honest.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think
Inktober's good. And I think it's good that, you aren't limited to just using ink as long as you're drawing every day. It's a nice way to get back into the groove. So. Cool.
Sign us out.
All right. Nice hanging out. You can find me on RocketGills on Instagram. Same thing on Twitter as well.
RocketGills!
Later.